Welcome to a deep dive
Oh,
into the life and work of astrophysicist Subrahmanyan Chandrasekhar,
yeah,
a name that might be a mouthful, but trust me, his story is anything but dry.
right.
We're going to be using excerpts from a Spanish-language biography of him.
Okay.
As our guide today, we'll explore not just how stars are born, live, and die,
Uh-huh.
but how Chandrasekhar revolutionized our understanding of those fascinating stellar remnants known as white dwarfs.
What's fascinating about Chandrasekhar,
Yeah.
often called Chandra for short,
Okay.
is how his work helped us unravel the mysteries of stellar evolution.
Hmm.
It's a story of scientific brilliance,
Okay.
but also of clashing with the scientific
Oh,
establishment.
a scientific showdown.
Yeah.
Now you've got me hooked, so tell me,
Yeah.
where did this Chandra guy come from?
Okay.
Was he always destined for astrophysics greatness?
Picture this: Lahore, India in 1910.
Okay.
Chandra is born into a family that's practically buzzing with intellectual energy.
Wow.
His uncle was C.V. Raman, a Nobel Prize winner.
Oh,
And while their relationship was complex,
Uh-huh.
it definitely sparked Chandra's early fascination with science.
yeah,
It's almost like having a Nobel laureate at the dinner table, wouldn't you say?
definitely not your average family dinner conversation.
Right.
But it sounds like he wasn't just coasting on his family's achievements.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Beyond his family, Chandra had some pretty pivotal encounters with some of the biggest names in physics.
Okay.
He was deeply inspired by Arnold Sommerfeld during a visit to Madras,
Uh-huh.
and even formed a close bond with Werner Heisenberg.
Wait.
When Heisenberg traveled to India.
The Heisenberg.
Yeah.
The uncertainty principle guy.
Exactly.
This is getting interesting.
Yeah.
So did these encounters set him on the path to studying white dwarfs?
Well, they certainly played a role in shaping his journey.
Okay.
Chandra ended up receiving a scholarship to study in England,
Uh-huh.
with the promise of a professorship in theoretical physics upon his return. They clearly saw his potential, but it was actually during his journey to Cambridge that his groundbreaking work on white dwarfs began.
Okay, so we've got our brilliant young Chandra heading to Cambridge scholarship in hand.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a leisurely 19-day voyage, maybe catching up on some reading.
Right.
Was that how it went?
Not quite.
Oh,
Instead of enjoying the sea breeze,
Okay.
Chandra spent most of that voyage working on a problem that would eventually earn him the Nobel Prize.
Oh,
And not for another 53 years.
really?
He was applying a revolutionary concept called Fermi-Dirac statistics
Okay.
to those mysterious white dwarf stars.
For meteoric statistics, that sounds a bit intimidating.
It can be, yeah.
Can you break that down for me?
Imagine you're trying to fit a whole crowd of people
Okay.
into a tiny elevator.
Uh-huh.
It gets pretty crowded, right?
Yeah.
Fermi-Dirac statistics helps us understand how particles behave
Okay.
in extremely dense environments like the heart of a white dwarf star. It's a way of figuring out how these particles interact and share energy when they're packed in so tightly.
Okay, so that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah,
So Chandra's applying this new statistical tool to white dwarfs,
right.
and this is what leads him to the Nobel Prize-winning discovery.
Yeah, it is.
What exactly did he discover on that seasick voyage?
He discovered something called the Chandrasekhar limit, a fundamental concept in astrophysics.
Okay.
Before we delve into that,
Yeah.
let me ask you, what comes to mind when you think of a white dwarf?
Well, I know they're the remnants of stars that have exhausted their fuel,
Right.
super compact,
Uh-huh.
about the size of Earth, but incredibly dense.
Yeah.
Kind of like squeezing the mass of the sun into a space the size of city.
Exactly. And what Chandra's calculations revealed is that there's a limit to how massive a white dwarf can get before things start to get really interesting.
Okay.
He calculated that a white dwarf can exceed about 1.4 times the mass of our sun. That critical threshold is the Chandrasekhar limit.
Right.
Beyond that, a white dwarf simply can't support itself against its own gravity.
So what happens then? Does it just collapse?
That's where the story takes a dramatic turn.
Okay.
But before we get into those stellar fireworks,
Yeah.
we need to talk about the scientific controversy that erupted around Chandra's discovery.
Oh.
It wasn't exactly smooth sailing.
Wait, you mean not everyone was thrilled about this groundbreaking finding?
No, not at all.
What happened?
Enter Sir Arthur Eddington,
Okay.
a leading astrophysicist at the time,
Uh-huh.
and a towering figure in the scientific community.
Yeah.
He vehemently opposed Chandrasekhar's theory.
Wow.
It was a clash of scientific titans.
Okay, I need to hear more about this scientific showdown.
All right.
Why was Eddington so against Chandra's idea?
Eddington simply couldn't accept the implications of the Chandrasekhar limit.
Okay.
It challenged his own deeply held beliefs about how stars should behave, hinting at a future for white dwarfs that wasn't peaceful. He famously declared that stars cannot die in peace.
Wow, that's quite the statement.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this wasn't just a scientific debate.
No.
It was a clash of philosophies.
Exactly what's fascinating here
Yep.
is that Eddington's rejection wasn't just about the science. It was also about resisting the merging of quantum mechanics and relativity and astrophysics,
Okay.
which is exactly what Chandra's work was doing.
Yeah.
He was bringing together these two revolutionary fields to explain the behavior of stars.
So how did this all play out for Chandra? Was
Yeah.
he able to defend his theory?
For Chandra, Eddington's public dismissal was a huge blow.
Oh.
It was deeply personal, and it actually led him to temporarily shift his research away from astrophysics.
Wow.
But despite the initial resistance, the scientific community eventually came around to accepting the Chandrasekhar limit.
Okay.
And it's now a cornerstone of our understanding of stellar evolution.
So Eddington was wrong.
In this case, yes.
White dwarfs can't just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
They have a limit.
They do.
But I still want to know what happens when they hit that limit.
Okay.
What does it mean for a star to not die in peace, as Eddington put it?
That's a great question. And it takes us right into the heart of how stars meet their ultimate fate.
All right, listeners. I don't know about you, but I am hooked.
Yeah.
We're about to enter a cosmic roller coaster ride of stellar death.
Right.
And trust me, you won't want to miss it. We'll be back in a flash with part 2 of this deep dive into the life and work of S. Chandrasekhar.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of stellar evolution.
Glad to be back.
Before we left off, we were talking about Eddington's dramatic statement about stars not dying in peace.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to say, I'm really curious to explore those less than peaceful stellar endings.
Well, to really grasp how stars meet their ultimate fate,
Yeah.
we need to take a step back and consider their main sequence lifetime.
Main sequence.
Yeah.
Is that like a star's prime time?
Exactly.
The period when it's shining brightly and steadily?
It's the phase where a star fuses hydrogen into helium at its core,
Yeah.
generating all that energy we see as starlight. Our sun, for example,
Right.
is currently in its main sequence, happily chugging along.
So what happens when the hydrogen fuel starts to run low?
Yeah.
Is that when the drama unfolds?
That's when things get really interesting.
Okay.
Once a star exhausts its hydrogen supply, it embarks on a new path. And the direction it takes really depends on its initial mass.
Okay.
It's a bit like different weight classes in boxing.
Okay. I am intrigued. So tell me what happens to the lighter weight stars
All right.
when their fuel runs out.
Stars less than about 8 times the mass of our sun
Okay.
tend to bow out with more of a whimper than a bang.
Okay.
They evolve into those fascinating white dwarfs we'd discussed earlier.
Ah, so they become those super dense Earth-sized remnants?
That's right.
But I thought we were talking about stars not dying peacefully.
Well,
That sounds pretty peaceful to me.
there's a bit more to it than that. Before settling into their white dwarf retirement, these stars go through a rather flamboyant phase.
Okay.
They puff up into what are known as red giants,
Yeah.
shedding their outer layers in a spectacular display.
So there's a bit of drama, even for the lighter weight stars.
There is.
But I'm guessing the real fireworks are reserved for the heavyweight stars.
You bet.
What happens when those giants run out of fuel?
Now, those are the stars that really know how to make an exit.
Yeah.
Stars more massive than 8 times the sun
Okay.
have a much more violent ending in store,
Uh-huh.
a supernova explosion.
Okay, now we're talking supernovae.
Yeah,
Those are among the most powerful explosions in the universe, right?
they are.
I've seen pictures of those remnants, and they're mind-blowingly beautiful.
They are incredibly powerful, a cosmic spectacle like no other.
Yeah.
Imagine a star suddenly outshining an entire galaxy,
Wow.
releasing as much energy in a few weeks as our sun will in its entire lifetime.
That's incredible.
It's hard to even wrap your head around that kind of power.
Wow, that puts those red giants to shame.
Right.
So what's left after such a dramatic explosion? Just a cloud of cosmic dust.
Not quite. What remains depends on the star's original mass.
Okay.
The core can collapse into an even denser object,
Uh-huh.
known as a neutron star.
Neutron stars. I remember reading about those.
Yeah.
Are they unbelievably dense, like packing the mass of the sun into a city?
Even denser than that?
Really?
Imagine cramming the sun's mass into a ball just a few miles across. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
A teaspoonful of neutron star material would weigh billions of tons here on Earth.
Billions of tons. Okay.
Wow.
Now, that's something I can't even begin to imagine.
Right.
So we've got white dwarfs, neutron stars. Are those the only options for a star's final act?
For stars significantly larger than our sun, there's an even more extreme outcome.
Wow.
The core can collapse beyond the neutron star stage, becoming so dense that it forms a black hole.
A black hole, now that's a seriously dramatic way for a star to not die in peace, as Eddington put it.
You could say that
Those are regions of spacetime where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape.
exactly. They're some of the most enigmatic objects in the universe.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to Chandrasekhar and his limit.
Okay.
Remember, it's all about the fate of white dwarfs.
Right. The Chandrasekhar limit determines how massive a white dwarf can get before something dramatic happens.
Right.
But I'm still a bit fuzzy on what exactly happens when a white dwarf crosses that limit.
Well, Eddington was right about one thing.
Yeah.
If a white dwarf accumulates enough mass to exceed that 1.4 solar mass limit, it won't just sit there peacefully.
So what happens? Does it just collapse like those massive stars forming black holes?
It depends on the circumstances. In some cases, crossing the Chandrasekhar limit can trigger a thermonuclear explosion,
Wow.
completely obliterating the white dwarf in a spectacular supernova.
Wait a minute, a white dwarf can go supernova?
They can.
I thought only massive stars did that.
It turns out white dwarfs have a few tricks up their sleeves. They can go supernova if they're part of a binary system,
Okay.
or they have a companion star.
Huh.
They can start pulling matter from their companion,
Right.
and when they reach that critical Chandrasekhar limit, boom.
So it's like a cosmic game of tug of war.
Yeah.
And when the white dwarf wins, it ends with a supernova.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's a great way to put it, but supernovae aren't the only possibility.
Oh.
Sometimes a white dwarf that exceeds the limit might collapse further.
Okay.
Not into a black hole, but into a neutron star.
Really?
It's like skipping a step on the cosmic ladder, going straight from white dwarf to neutron star.
So the Chandrasekhar limit isn't just a limit.
Right.
It's a crossroads for white dwarfs.
Exactly.
It determines whether they remain stable, explode violently,
Yeah.
or take an unexpected detour into neutron star territory.
Exactly. And it's all thanks to Chandra's work,
Right.
even though it took the scientific community a while to appreciate it.
Yeah.
His discovery revolutionized our understanding of stellar evolution.
Well, it's clear that Chandra was a true pioneer.
He was.
But you mentioned earlier that he went on to do even more incredible work.
I did.
What happened after the whole Eddington controversy?
After that initial setback, Chandra continued to make significant contributions to our understanding of the cosmos.
Okay.
His curiosity took him beyond individual stars to the vast swirling worlds of galaxies, and his approach to studying them was, shall we say, rather unique.
Galaxies? Okay, now we're talking about a whole different scale of the universe.
We are.
I'm all ears. What did Chandra discover about these cosmic islands of stars?
Well, he had this brilliant and somewhat unconventional idea.
Okay.
He decided to treat an entire galaxy as if it were a giant gas.
A gas. But galaxies are made of stars, not molecules bouncing around like in the air we breathe.
That's where the analogy comes in.
Okay.
Chandra envisioned the stars in a galaxy behaving like particles in a gas, each star interacting with its neighbors through the force of gravity.
Okay.
It was a revolutionary way of thinking about these vast structures.
So he was basically applying the laws that govern gases to entire galaxies. That's thinking big.
It is.
But how did he even begin to tackle such a complex problem? There weren't supercomputers back then, were there?
You're right, there weren't. Chandra had to rely on his incredible mathematical skills to develop equations that described the motion of stars within a galaxy.
Oh.
Taking into account their individual velocities and the overall gravitational field, he even explored concepts like the time of relaxation.
That's that.
Essentially how long it takes for the stars in a galaxy to settle into a state of equilibrium.
Oh.
Like a cosmic snow globe slowly coming to rest.
So he was trying to figure out how galaxies achieve a kind of cosmic harmony that's beautiful. Did his work hold up over time?
Absolutely. His work laid the foundation for our modern understanding of galactic dynamics.
Okay.
The study of how galaxies rotate, evolve, and interact. It was a major leap forward.
Wow, this is all so fascinating.
Yeah.
Seems like Chandra had this knack for seeing connections and applying what he knew from one area of astrophysics to another.
He did.
Even at vastly different scales.
He did, and that's what makes his work so remarkable.
Right.
He didn't just make discoveries.
Mm-hmm.
He connected the dots, helping us see the universe in a new light.
Yeah.
But as with any scientific model, there were limitations to Chandra's approach to galaxies.
What was he missing?
Well, for one thing, galaxies aren't just made of stars.
Right.
There's also interstellar gas and dust.
Uh-huh.
And these components interact in complex ways,
Yeah.
creating a dynamic environment that Chandra's initial models didn't fully capture.
So it's not just stars swirling around like a perfectly organized gas.
Exactly. The interstellar gas, for example,
Uh,
can be influenced by magnetic fields and radiation pressure forces that add another layer of complexity to the evolution of galaxies.
and what about dark matter?
Right.
I've heard that plays a huge role in how galaxies behave. Was that something Chandra considered?
That's a great point, dark matter. That mysterious substance we can't directly see but know exists because of its gravitational effects.
Yeah.
Has a profound influence on galaxies. It acts like an invisible scaffolding holding everything together. But the concept of dark matter wasn't really on the radar during Chandra's time.
So in a way, he was working with an incomplete picture of the universe.
You could say that he was a pioneer, pushing the boundaries of our understanding with the knowledge available at the time.
Yeah.
But that's how science works, right?
Right.
We build on the work of those who came before us, refining our models as new discoveries come to light.
And speaking of new discoveries, you mentioned earlier that Chandra made groundbreaking contributions to our understanding of black holes later in his career.
I did.
I thought he wasn't initially very interested in general relativity,
Right.
the theory that describes those enigmatic objects.
That's what's so inspiring about his story.
Yeah.
He never stopped learning and challenging himself.
Right.
Even in his 50s, when many scientists start thinking about winding down, he decided to dive headfirst into the world of general relativity,
Wow.
mastering its complex mathematics to unlock the secrets of black holes.
Wow. Talk about a lifelong learner. So what kind of insights did he gain from studying black holes? Those are still such mysterious objects even today.
He explored the very fabric of space-time around black holes,
Okay.
delving into mind-bending concepts like event horizons and singularities.
Event horizon singularities, those terms sound pretty intimidating.
Yeah, they can be.
Can you explain what they mean in a way that even I can understand?
Imagine a black hole as a cosmic drain, a point of no return.
Okay.
The event horizon is the boundary around that drain once you cross it.
Yeah.
There's no escape, not even for light.
Okay, that's both terrifying and fascinating. And what about the singularity? What is that exactly?
At the very center of a black hole, hidden behind that event horizon,
Uh-huh.
lies the singularity. It's a point of infinite density where the laws of physics, as we know them, break down.
Okay.
It's a region that still mystifies scientists today, a place where our current understanding of the universe simply doesn't apply.
Wow, that's incredible. So Chandra was exploring the very limits of our knowledge,
He was
pushing into the unknown.
His work on black holes, along with his contributions to white dwarf and galaxy research,
Yeah.
cemented his reputation as one of the most brilliant theoretical astrophysicists of all time, and it all started with a 19-day journey to Cambridge,
Wow.
where a young scientist armed with his intellect and fueled by his curiosity set out to unravel the mysteries of the universe.
What a story and what a legacy. It's amazing how his work touched upon so many different aspects of the cosmos.
Right.
From the smallest stars to those mind-bending black holes, it really shows how interconnected everything is in the universe.
It does, and Chandra's journey is a testament to the power of human curiosity and the never-ending quest to understand our place in the cosmos.
Yeah.
But his story doesn't end there. He went on to achieve even greater recognition for his work.
Oh, you mean the Nobel Prize?
Yes.
It took a while for the scientific community to come around to his ideas,
Yeah.
but eventually he got the recognition he deserved. What an incredible journey.
It is, but there's another fascinating chapter to Chandra's story that I think you'll find really interesting.
Okay.
It involves his later years and a return to a field he had initially moved away from.
Okay, now you've really got me curious. What area of research did he return to?
We'll delve into that and the lasting impact of his work in part 3 of our deep dive. Stay tuned because there are still more fascinating discoveries to uncover.
Welcome back, fellow explorers of the cosmos. We're in the final stage of our deep dive into the life and work of S. Chandrasekhar.
Yes, we are.
And you hinted that there's another chapter to his story. You said he returned to a field
Uh-huh.
he'd stepped away from earlier in his career.
That's right.
This is intriguing. What was it?
After his groundbreaking work on white dwarfs, galaxies, and black holes,
Yeah.
Chandra circled back to a subject that had both fascinated and frustrated him
Okay.
in his younger years,
Uh-huh.
general relativity.
You mean that theory that even Einstein struggled with?
The one and only?
The one that describes gravity as a curvature of space-time? Didn't he shy away from it after that whole Eddington controversy?
That's right after Eddington's harsh criticism of his white dwarf theory,
Uh-huh.
which heavily relied on concepts from relativity.
Yeah.
Chandra temporarily shifted his focus to other areas of astrophysics.
Okay.
But it seems that general relativity, with all its complexities and challenges,
Right.
never quite left his mind.
So what prompted him to revisit this formidable field later in life?
It seems that the allure of the unknown, the desire to grapple with the most fundamental laws governing the universe, drew him back in.
Yeah.
He was a relentless pursuer of knowledge, always seeking a deeper understanding of the cosmos.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he felt a sense of unfinished business with general relativity, a score to settle, perhaps.
I could only imagine the level of dedication and intellectual discipline
Oh, yeah.
it must have taken to dive back into such a challenging field after years of focusing on other areas.
Right.
What specific aspects of general relativity did he tackle this time around?
He set his sights on one of the most mind-bending predictions of general relativity.
Okay.
Black holes.
Remember those cosmic trains we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape?
Exactly.
Those are pretty awe-inspiring. What new insights did he bring to our understanding of black holes?
Chandra took on the monumental task of rigorously analyzing the mathematical equations that describe the space-time around black holes.
Okay.
He wanted to understand their geometry, their dynamics, and their profound influence on the fabric of the cosmos.
I'm sensing this might get a bit technical.
It can.
Can you give us a glimpse into the kind of concepts he was exploring
Sure.
without getting too lost in the mathematical weeds?
He delved into the intricate details of event horizons, those boundaries of no return surrounding black holes,
Right.
and singularities, those points of infinite density at their very core, where the laws of physics as we know them cease to exist.
Right.
It was a journey to the very edge of our understanding of the universe, a realm where intuition breaks down, and only the language of mathematics can guide us.
It sounds like he was pushing the limits of human comprehension,
He was.
trying to make sense of the most extreme environments in the cosmos.
Right.
What was the impact of his work on black holes? Did it revolutionize our understanding of these enigmatic objects as his earlier work did for white dwarfs and galaxies?
While his work on black holes didn't create the same kind of immediate paradigm shift as the Chandrasekhar limit, it laid a crucial foundation for future research. His rigorous mathematical analysis
Okay.
provided a framework for other scientists to build upon, paving the way for a deeper understanding of these cosmic enigmas.
So he was a pioneer, not just in discovering new phenomena, but also in developing the mathematical tools to understand them.
That's a great way to put it.
It's a testament to his enduring legacy that his work continues to influence astrophysics to this day.
It really is.
And it's not just his scientific contributions that make his story so compelling.
Right.
It's also his unwavering pursuit of knowledge,
Uh-huh.
his willingness to challenge conventional thinking, and his ability to see connections between seemingly disparate fields.
Absolutely.
It's inspiring, really.
Yeah.
He faced setbacks and criticism, but he never gave up on his quest to understand the universe. He reminds us that science is a journey, a process of constantly refining our knowledge and pushing the boundaries of what we know.
Well said.
And he shows us that a single individual driven by curiosity and armed with the tools of mathematics can make profound contributions to our understanding of the cosmos.
Couldn't agree more.
His legacy is a reminder that there are still countless mysteries out there waiting to be uncovered, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey worth taking.
Definitely.
Well said. It's been an incredible journey exploring the life and work of S. Chandrasekhar,
I agree.
from the heart of white dwarfs to the swirling depths of galaxies
Yeah.
and the mind-bending realm of black holes.
Right.
His story has shown us the power of human intellect to grapple with the grandest questions of the cosmos.
It's a story that reminds us of the interconnectedness of everything in the universe, from the tiniest particles to the largest structures, all governed by the same fundamental laws that Chandra dedicated his life to understanding.
I think we can all agree that S. Chandrasekhar's work has left an indelible mark on astrophysics, and as we conclude this deep dive, I encourage you, our listeners, to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep looking up at the stars with a sense of wonder, just as Chandra did throughout his extraordinary life.
The universe is a vast and mysterious place full of wonders yet to be discovered, Who knows what groundbreaking insights await us in the future? Perhaps one of you listening will be the next Chandrasekhar, pushing the boundaries of our understanding and revealing new secrets of the cosmos.
Until our next deep dive into the unknown, keep looking up and never stop learning.